Welcome to Crowd the Farm, a compelling solution to supporting Australian farmers and the environment. After today's presentation, you'll understand the key drivers fueling Crowd the Farm and how the initiative aims to address them. We'll prove its value as an investment and demonstrate how our execution plan ensures viability and profitability for farmers and investors. Catastrophic climate events are on the increase around the world. In Australia, this has resulted in extreme weather, including sustained periods of drought, bushfires, and sudden flash flooding. These extreme climate events have degraded Australian farmland and made sustaining a profitable farming business nearly impossible on land now incapable of growing crops or supporting grazing for livestock. The leadership required to address climate change has been sorely lacking within the Australian government. The Australian public, however, has consistently demonstrated its generosity, as recent drought relief efforts reflect. Unfortunately, while these efforts may help cover some expenses, they don't help farmers make their land debt repayments, and they don't address the environmental issues destroying their livelihoods. Crowd the Farm sees a longer-term solution to these issues in the opportunities provided by the renewable energy sector. Providing more than one-off disaster relief payments, Crowd the Farm is an online peer-to-peer investment platform that aligns Australian generosity with initiatives that will support farmers in diversifying their existing business. Encouraging the broadest range of investors, our platform affords anyone, regardless of their financial capacity, the opportunity to invest in creating a sustainable difference in farming communities. Investments that will be used to transition affected farmland, whether it be a portion of the land or an entire farm, to a new crop and a new industry with ever-increasing customer demand, allowing the farms to once again be profitable, self-sustaining business ventures by selling power back to the energy grid, creating a future where renewable energy is a viable alternative to fossil fuels. We intend to further aid the community by investing in retraining our farmers as service technicians who are capable of maintaining and servicing the equipment required for energy production. Crowd the Farm's implementation plan includes 7 key steps. Step 1, the most pivotal to our success, is community engagement. Crowd the Farm will develop relationships that incentivize the Australian public to provide funding for our green power initiatives. Step 2, planning approval, includes obtaining approval from necessary regulatory bodies and compliance authorities, early effective stakeholder engagement, and negotiating power purchase agreements with energy retailers. Step 3, grid connection, involves forming relationships with local energy providers to facilitate our provision of a viable local energy supply from the community to the community. Step 4, design, includes sourcing of contract resources for engineering, procurement, and construction, technology selection appropriate to the land site, and most importantly, site selection based on constraints which may include local climate, available land, soil type, topography, degree of soil degradation, and proximity to grid connection. Step 5 is continued customer acquisition and retention, wherein we focus on farmers, investors, and energy providers, engaging in direct marketing campaigns in the local regions through workshops, ads, and word of mouth. Step 6, operations and maintenance, comprises performance management and the capture of site data, which will be used to gauge energy consumption and provide information for future scaling. Finally, Step 7, farmer retraining, will ensure the farms are self-sustaining and members of the local community are skilled in grid management and operations. Our main operational activities are grouped into 4 categories: product development, customer acquisition, customer retention, and relationship management. These activities form the foundation upon which venture MVP and scaling strategies will be built. Crowd the Farm is committed to lean startup principles and intends to proceed with an MVP only after thorough testing of the identified falsifiable hypotheses. Crowd the Farm's first MVP, a 1 megawatt solar farm, will serve as a platform to cross the chasm, focusing on drought-impacted farms located in remote areas, particularly farms near the outer limits of the power grid where economic stability is threatened by the shortage of electric power. Data generated from the project will assist in confirming our financial model. Crowd the Farm sees its offering maturing through the enhancement and expansion of our products and services by improving strategies around product development, customer acquisition and retention, and partnerships. In 2013, the Australian government defunded the Climate Council. In direct response to this, 10,000 Australians lent their financial support to the organization, providing over $1 million in donations to support climate research. More recently, we've seen similar numbers of Australians banding together to provide drought relief to rural farmers in need. Crowd the Farm believes our direct action platforms can leverage that same support. We plan to raise significant investment in the first 12 months of operations, targeting $2.8 million in funding. The bulk of this funding is expected to come from retail investors whose contributions are capped at $10,000 in order to maintain the desired feed-in tariff rate. Costs associated with our first solar farm are estimated at just under $2 million or $1.40 per watt over the first 2 years of the project. In year 4, we seek an additional $1.35 million in investment to facilitate a second solar farm build. The model then maintains positive cash flow and stable revenues, and by year 9, our profit position supports the funding of a third build with no need for additional external funding. These funding and project delivery milestones, in concert with the assumptions identified in the model, prove our approach for the platform's investments can support a sustainable business model while providing investors the benefits of tangible action against climate change, positive impact on rural communities, and eventually a return on investment. In addition to the financial rewards of being involved in a profitable enterprise, Crowd the Farm's key benefits to investors lie in its value as a social venture that gives ordinary people the opportunity to contribute to a sustainable societal objective while promoting social responsibility through green energy projects that reinvigorate at-risk communities. With estimates indicating a reduction in carbon emissions of over 6,600 tons over 10 years, Crowd the Farm will help move Australia away from its dependence on fossil fuel-based energy. The heart of the Crowd the Farm ecosystem is our network of farmers, local communities, and the Australian public. Critical to business development is our core team, which includes the founders, portal developers, suppliers and installers, and the advisors who assist with the initiative, raising capital and ensuring regulatory compliance. Media outlets also play an important role in our sustainability, and Crowd the Farm as a brand provides media partners the opportunity to promote local interests and progressive businesses through their morning shows, radio programs, and other platforms. Finally, Crowd the Farm also intends to build support from contributors both public and business-based who can provide financial contributions and develop relationships with regulatory bodies to include the Climate Council, the Australian Charities and Not-for-Profits Commission, and the Public Fundraising Regulatory Association. For the success of the initiative, Crowd the Farm's leadership team needs to carefully monitor and manage a variety of risks, the most pertinent of which are challenges with farmer uptake, lack of investor interest, project acquisition costs, and compliance issues in a complex regulatory environment where legislative changes can impact our financial modeling. These risks highlight the importance of our ecosystem and the relationships we must cultivate for this social venture to succeed. I appreciate your time, and I want to personally invite you to join the crowd. Lend your support to Australian farmers by helping Crowd the Farm change the world for the better. Thank you.